So at the time this is being recorded, there's still no new news, no nothing on when the next installment on the Tomodachi series is going to arrive to the Switch. And at this point, Life has been on the 3DS for nearly 6 years now, and still nothing. Like, there hasn't even been a direct in forever right now, a general one at least. Hopefully I jinx it and one is coming soon as I say this, maybe even with an announcement for Tomodachi. And people don't know shit about Animal Crossing New Horizons yet as I'm recording this, so that's a bit worrying. But anyway, to be honest, Tomodachi is maybe my most wanted series to come to the Switch currently. I, of course, want like a new F-Zero or Star Fox, one that's good, and whatever else like everybody else does, but this just seems the most likely to me and resonates me the most so far. And probably also the idea excites me the most, like just the joy of getting a new island, thinking about which Miis I want to return from my old game, which new ones I want to add, etc. I had so much fun with Tomodachi Life, it actually surprised me of just how much joy I got from it, and it's genuinely one of my favorite games, probably. And that amazing Fine Sauce series with it just adds to it. But anyway, in this video I'm going to talk about which features I want to see, what I want to see fixed, and all that stuff for a new game on the Switch. And I'm going to start out with the most obvious thing because they basically promised that they would add this in the sequel, and that, of course, is gay marriage. And this was complained about when Life first came out on the 3DS. It was a bit egregious then, so now especially it'd just be like, what the fuck are you doing if it isn't in there? And while Miitopia didn't have quote-unquote marriages, it was kind of in there, so there's that. And I'm hoping that you would just be able to set an orientation for your Miis as you make them, like whether they're into guys or girls or whoever, all of them. And if you're at all worried that like kids playing the game, since that's like the big targeted audience, if they're gonna see this big fancy word like orientation and be like, what's that? They could just reword it to, does your character like boys, girls, whoever? Or just say that they want to marry this gender, that gender, whatever. And the more I think about it, okay, first of all, they freaking better stick to the promise and add it, but secondly, the more I think about it, the more I wonder if when I add all of my stupid cartoon and video game characters, if I should just keep their canon orientation, or if I should just make everybody into everybody and see where the relationships go, because one, stick to canon, but on the other hand, passing off a potential relationship like Reptar marrying Robert E.O. Speedwagon, it just sounds too great to pass, so I'll probably do the latter. And I'm gonna add on to that a bit and wonder if, since they said quote unquote after that complaint happened for Life, that they'll make the next game more inclusive to all players. So I wonder if they at all could do like any gender fluency with this, and what I basically mean is just like simply set like a pronoun for your Mii to be referred to as, like as you create them, if you want like they or she or whatever. It's just another thing to add that would be nice of them to do. And sticking to that, sort of, you know how in Life whenever you would add your main Mii, your lookalike, you would be able to, wait, no, not your Mii, I mean for your Mii, and once you add other villagers, you would be able to have an option in there under their info where you get to set your relationship to them. And this was only for your main Mii, where you could set if a new islander was your brother or a parent or a spouse or a cousin or whatever. And I'm hoping that in a new one, they would give this ability to have you set relationships, already pre-established ones, to any Mii for all of the Miis, and not just your main Mii. And where this comes from is, I had a personal issue where I added in Chrome after I already had Lucina on there. And Crumb kept on saying that he had feelings for Lucina, and I had to tell him no 5 times and get him disappointed, and having that feature would really help get rid of that. I mean, I can have Crumb hit on Lucina all how much I want, but if I want Bubblegum Marceline to hook up or potentially hook up, then no. And that's basically the really big changes I've thought of. Aside from that, I would just want them to kind of fix the more annoying or tedious or broken things in Tomodachi Life. Like the Mii quest, for example, that was okay at first, but after like a few times you just want to stop doing it because it's really tedious and kind of boring to go through and it just feels a bit too random. And then there was some other stuff that didn't work for me for the longest time. I figured out was because of the lighting since it used the camera, and even if I was like in like a nearly lit room, it still wouldn't work. It was very sensitive. Is stuff like the solar panel and the magic show, but at the same time, I don't even know how they could do something like that on the Switch. They would have to change up the controls completely and have it work out that way. And then, oh god, the freaking catch minigame I have listed here, when the Mii drops an item, the fucking trigger for that just seemed really specific and kind of off and broken, so please change that. And babies, I did turn off babies the last time I played my file of Tomodachi Life just because I got so sick and annoyed by all of the stuff doing it. Like, of course that option exists, but if they could maybe help make it a bit less intrusive and annoying, that would also help, like the phone ringing all the time and annoying crying. And another thing that would annoy me was problems with like daylight savings, or if your 3DS restarts, is the game would punish you and make you wait like for 24 hours or more even if it detected that the clock changed. Just get rid of that, please. Like, I think it's okay if you cheat a little bit, and I'm not even sure if you can set the time on Switch. I think it just does it by itself, so that might not even be a problem. And then other things like locking items, or especially locking items behind Street Pass, that was just kind of annoying, and the way it worked in general was a bit broken. I unfortunately didn't get to experience much Street Pass because I don't travel much, but it was fun whenever I got to. However, Street Pass, of course, isn't on the Switch, so I guess they would just link it to like a general online thing, much like Miitopia did, and that would also help streamline a lot of stuff. And aside from that, just like it would be cool if they have like basically everything that was in life and just add on to it more food, more rooms, more clothes, all that. Maybe more mini games too if they don't suck. And that also makes me say that I wouldn't mind them just porting Tomodachi Life and to the Switch and maybe just like kind of enhancing it a bit, like Tomodachi Life Deluxe, or maybe do what Splatoon 2 did, where it's kind of like that, but just more, because I've been wanting to start a new file on Life, and I don't want to delete my own at the same time, though, so this would just help do that. But that also leads into a more personal thing I have, where I would almost prefer a port of Life over an entirely new game. And what my worry is that I don't know if I'm completely alone on this, but I don't think I am. Maybe I am for Tomodachi, but I don't know about other things, is that it seems ever since Tomodachi Life came out, the world has just become a lot more cynical and unfunny and aggressive and mean. And I don't really want that to potentially leak into Tomodachi and kind of ruin it and make me at all upset or anything while I'm playing it, or annoyed and have one of my favorite series get fucked up by shit. And something that made the original Tomodachi Life really special to me was that it was a game I could always go to with no problem. It was a guarantee that I could open it up and play it, and the game would help me become happier. It was very welcoming and nice, and like I could just temporarily go into this like nice, modern, bright, good place. And it was especially like a savior to distract from like my depression or my dysfunctional, abusive, broken household that I'm stuck in, and kind of make me be put into this like better life temporarily. I know it might sound a little bit wrong for that, but that's something that really helps and something that I wouldn't want to lose in a game for the Switch. And the game gave hope for me that maybe my life could be like this more so someday. and it makes me want to hope the best for the game also in the series to go in the right directions and not fuck it up. But aside from that little personal thing, I'm gonna leave off on one more little final note, whether it is a port or an entirely new game, is Tomodachi really took advantage of the touchscreen, and it made things really quick and easy to do, but of course for the Switch, I mean, you can play it on your TV, so they're gonna have to kind of work around that and have it set up so you can use buttons, because let's face it, having to be forced to use handheld all the time or just touch everything with your finger, that would really suck and be annoying really fast. So hopefully they find a good way to make it simple and quick, and maybe like assign every action to like a single button press or whatsoever. I'm really hoping they could figure it out and make it just as snappy and time efficient as the original Tomodachi Life, if not more so. But thank you, and that about wraps it up. Let me know what any of you think or want for the game in the comment section, and I'll see you all then. Thank you.